All right, let's do some two-step equations. Now to solve these two-step equations, we're going to go ahead and use the Vedic math formula, transpose and apply. Basically what that means is that whatever we do to one side of the equation, we're going to do to the other side. So an equation is kind of like a teeter-totter, and if, this is your equals, if I have to add 2 to one side, I have to add 2 to the other side to keep the balance equal. So this transpose and apply kind of means that we're going to transpose whatever we're doing. We're going to transpose whatever we're doing to the other side of the equal sign, and we're just going to apply it. So basically, we're going to be reversing all the operations to the other side. And I'll kind of teach you also how they teach us in the West. Basically, the teachers are going to tell you that whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. In India, the Vedic formula for this concept is transpose and apply. Okay, so let's do some transpose and apply. First, I want to show you how they do in the West. So here in the West, we're kind of taught like this. Looking at our first example, we're going to say, okay, we need to subtract 2 from both sides. So then we have 6 minus 2 equals a over 4. Because plus 2 and minus 2, they cancel each other out. So they kind of do like this. Now you have 4 equals a over 4. Now to get rid of division, a is being divided by 4. To get rid of division, we need multiplication. So then they're going to say multiply both sides by 4. And these cancel out. So now I have 16 equals a. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's kind of how they teach us in the West. They kind of when you're first starting, when you're first learning this stuff, they kind of show you the steps and what it means. The Vedic method, I think, is just a little bit cleaner. You're not doing this crossing out, and you're just basically just not showing the steps in between. So what that means is, let's look at this example over here. Okay, doing transpose and apply, first thing we notice is that we're subtracting 6. So to get rid of this, or to move it to the other side of the equation, to move it over, to transpose it, we need to add. So we're going to be doing the opposite. It's being subtracted. To move it over, we need to add. So now we have x over 4 equals negative 5 plus 6. Okay, x over 4 equals 1. Now we're dividing by 4. To move it to the other side of the equation, we have division. To move it over, we need to do multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 4. So now we have x equals 1 times 4, or just x equals 4. Okay, the only difference between the Vedic method and the Western method when you're first learning is they're just not doing the steps in between. We're just not doing these in-between steps. We're just basically not showing our work. We're just doing it one step at a time. And, it's a little bit cleaner. This is kind of the way you'll be doing it once you get really into higher mathematics. Is you don't really have to do all this work showing exactly what you're doing. You don't have to show that it's being multiplied by both sides. You just kind of start to realize that, moving something across an equation means you need to do the opposite. Move it across. Okay, our next problem, what we need to do is we need to get this variable x by itself. So let's add 7 to both sides. Okay, we're going to move it across the equal sign. We need to add it. Okay, so now we have 9x equals negative 7 plus 7. That means 9x equals 0. Now we have x is being multiplied by 9. To get rid of multiplication, we need to do division. Remember, to do anything across this equal sign, we have to do the opposite operation. Here the operation is multiplication. To get it across the equal sign, we need to do division. So dividing both sides by 9, we have x equals 0 divided by 9. Okay, 0 divided by anything is 0, so we're going to go ahead and say x equals 0. There's our answer, x equals 0. All right, next problem. We need to get this variable n by itself. First thing we want to do is we want to move these numbers that are by themselves So we have 4. If you don't see a sign in front, it means it's positive, which means the operation is addition. So to move something that's being added, to move it across the equation, we need to subtract. So now we have 0 minus 4 equals n over 5. Okay, negative 4 equals n over 5. Okay, now here once again, something is being divided. N is being divided by 5. Okay, the operation here is division. So to get rid of it from this side of the equation, we need to multiply both sides by 5. Okay, we're doing the opposite operation. So to move it across, we need to multiply. So now we have negative 4 times 5 equals n. We're just going to say n equals negative 20. Okay, there's your answer. N equals negative 20. Okay, so we want to get this variable r by itself. We're solving for r. We notice that here we have a number being subtracted. Okay, to get rid of minus 5, we need to add 5 to both sides. To get it across the equation, we need to add 5 to both sides. So now we have negative 4 plus 5 equals r over 20. Okay, 1 equals r over 20. Doing our arithmetic from this step to this step. Okay, r is being divided by 20. To get rid of a division operation, we need to do a multiplication operation. So let's multiply 20 to both sides. So now we have 1 times 20, that equals 20. So r equals 20. There's our answer. Okay, negative 1 equals 5 plus x over 6. Okay, we need to get this variable x by itself. And we notice that we have this division by 6. So to get rid of something that's being divided, we need to multiply both sides by 6. So now we have negative 1. Negative 1 times 6 equals 5 plus x. Okay, we simply multiplied both sides by 6, moving it across the equation. Moving it across, something dividing, moving it across means we need to multiply. Multiplying both sides by 6. So now we have negative 6 equals 5 plus x. Okay, here we have this number 5. Once again, if you don't see a sign out in front, that means it's positive. So that means it's being addition. So to get rid of something being added, we need to subtract both sides by 5. Okay, so now we have negative 6 minus 5 equals x. So that means negative 11 equals x. X equals negative 11. Okay, v plus 9 over 3 equals 8. We're going to move this 3. Okay, here it's being divided. You need to multiply both sides by 3. So now we have v plus 9 equals 8 times 3. Okay, so that means v plus 9 equals 24. Okay, now we need to subtract both sides by 9. Here 9 is being added. To get v by itself, we need to subtract 9 from both sides. So that means we have v equals 24 minus 9. Or we could say that v equals 15. All right, 2 times n plus 5 equals negative 2. Now to get this variable n by itself, we need to kind of pick this apart. So we see that we have 2. 2 is being multiplied by everything inside these brackets. So to get rid of this 2, we know the operation is being multiplied. So to get rid of this, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So now we have n plus 5 equals negative 2 over 2. Okay, we simply took this 2, dividing it from both sides. Okay, this is what it looks like, dividing it from both sides. So now we have n plus 5 equals negative 2 divided by 2 equals negative 1. Okay, here we have n plus 5. To get rid of plus 5, we need to do subtraction. So now we're going to say n equals negative 1 minus 5. N equals negative 6. Here's our answer. N equals negative 6. All right, negative 9x plus 1 equals negative 80. So to get this variable x by itself, first we need to subtract 1 from both sides. So now we have negative 9x equals negative 80 minus 1, or negative 9x equals negative 81. Now x is being multiplied by negative 9. This operation is multiplication. X is being multiplied by negative 9. So to get rid of multiplication, we need to do division. So we're going to say x equals negative 81 over negative 9. Okay, negative 81 divided by negative 9 is a positive 9, so we're going to say x equals 9. There's our answer, x equals 9. Okay, negative 6 equals n over 2 minus 10. We need to get this variable alone by itself. So here we're subtracting 10. We're going to transpose it. We're going to transpose it across the equation. To transpose and apply means we're going to add 10 to both sides. So now we have negative 6 plus 10 equals n over 2. Okay, negative 6 plus 10 is a positive 4. So we're going to say 4 equals n over 2. Okay, simply doing arithmetic from this step to this step. N divided by 2, here we have the operation is division. So the opposite of division is multiplication. To get this n by itself, we're going to multiply both sides by 2. So we have 4 times 2 equals n, or 8 equals n. N equals 8. Here's our answer, n equals 8. Okay, transpose and apply. Once again, if you don't see a sign in front of a number, it means it is addition. Okay, and I would just like to point this out. There's this rule called Commutative Law of Addition. Okay, Commutative Law of Addition. That means that 1 plus 2, I could also write that. I could say that means 2 plus 1. Okay, Commutative Law of Addition means I could kind of switch the order, and it doesn't change anything. Okay, so how the commutative law of addition looks here, let's say I want to change how this looks, then I could say that this equals negative 2 equals v over 4 plus 2. See this commutative law of addition, I'm just moving this over. Notice that now there's a plus sign in front of the 2. There was no plus sign here, but now there's a plus sign. That's because if you don't see a negative sign, you're going to automatically assume that it's positive. Okay, this positive sign is part of this term, v over 4. So I could kind of move these, I can make these change places. This is called the commutative law of addition. Okay, I just kind of wanted to point this out, that you could use this if you don't understand about your signs and how they're attached to the terms. See, this plus sign is attached to this term v over 4. This plus sign is attached to this number 2. Okay, if you don't see a sign, you're going to assume that it's positive. Okay, just kind of wanted to add this in as a little side lesson. So let's work with it. Let's work with this now that we've kind of switched these places. This is a perfectly legal move. You're allowed to do this in math. You're allowed to move things around. So now we know that to transpose and apply here, we have an addition. So to get rid of addition, we need a subtraction. So we say negative 2 minus 2 equals v over 4. Okay, negative 4 equals v over 4. Once again, here we have a division operation. V is being divided by the number 4. Okay, our operation is division. To transpose it to the other side of the equation, we need to do the opposite operation. That's going to be multiplication. Okay, so now we have negative 4 times 4 equals V. Negative 16 equals V. There's your answer. V equals negative 16. All right, 144 equals negative 12 times x plus 5. So this negative 12 is being multiplied. This is a multiplication. So to get rid of this negative 12, we need to divide both sides by negative 12. So we have 144 over negative 12. We're going to say that equals x plus 5. You could leave the parentheses on, or you could take them off at this point. It doesn't really matter to me. It's the same thing. So 144 over negative 12, that's going to give us negative 12. So we're going to say negative 12 equals x plus 5. Okay, now to get rid of this plus 5, we need to subtract 5 from both sides. So negative 12 minus 5 equals x. Negative 17 equals x. There's your answer. X equals negative 17. Okay, I want to thank you all for watching. Please press the like button down below. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead and leave a comment and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.